Right now, there are approximately 1 billion waste tires sitting in stockpiles across America. 1 billion. And every single year we add approximately 300 million more to that mountain. Those stockpiles aren't just sitting there harmlessly. They're ticking time bombs. In 1999, a tire fire in Wesley, California burned for over a month, releasing toxic smoke and requiring millions of gallons of water to extinguish. Yet somehow, we figured out how to take this environmental nightmare and turn it into something you drive on every single day without even knowing it. By the end of this, you'll understand how 2,000 old tires become a single mile of road that lasts twice as long and sounds half as loud. Before we get into the process, you need to understand why this matters beyond just recycling. Traditional asphalt has a fatal flaw. It's rigid. When temperatures swing, when heavy trucks roll over it thousands of times, it cracks. Those cracks let water seep in, which freezes, expands, and creates potholes. Cities spend billions every year just patching the same roads over and over. But tires? Tires are designed to be flexible, to absorb impact, to resist cracking under extreme conditions. So the question became, what if we could transfer those properties into the road itself? And while we solve the tire waste problem through recycling, my friends at Planet Wild are tackling plastic waste at its source. I'll tell you about their fantastic work in just a bit. Now, you can't just throw a tire into a grinder and expect ready-to-use material. Each tire is a complex sandwich of rubber, steel belts, polyester cords, and chemical additives. They're engineered to last 100,000 miles on your car, which means they're engineered to resist breaking down. That's why the first step is controlled violence. The process starts in massive tire collection facilities that look like industrial graveyards. Enormous shredders equipped with hardened steel teeth rip tires into chunks roughly the size of your fist. We're talking machines generating enough torque to twist metal like paper, operating at temperatures that would make the room unbearable to stand in. But those chunks still contain all that steel reinforcement. So they move to magnetic separation systems where powerful electromagnets literally yank the steel out midair as the material travels on conveyor belts. Now the rubber needs to reach a specific particle size, and this is where the engineering gets genuinely impressive. But first, let me tell you about that waste crisis I mentioned earlier. While we're figuring out how to recycle tires into roads, there's a huge problem of plastic waste in our oceans and seas, but fortunately there are initiatives out in the field stopping it before it ever reaches the ocean. I'm talking about Planet Wild, a plus 20,000 member community that funds nature restoration projects around the globe every month, whether it's restoring forests, cleaning up oceans, or protecting endangered species. The best part? They document every mission right here on YouTube so we can see the impact we're having. I've been part of Planet Wild since I discovered their mission, funding a massive plastic cleanup in Mumbai using floating trash boom systems that intercept tons of waste before it reaches the sea. They also converted an abandoned factory in Albania into a full-scale recycling plant to process waste from Europe's most polluted rivers. They don't just talk about problems, but get their boots on the ground to find solutions. You can also become a Planet Wild supporter for as little as $6 a month. That's less than 2 coffees. And that money goes directly into protecting ecosystems around the world. No long-term commitment, you can cancel anytime. Check out Planet Wild through the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right now. The first 100 people to sign up with my code get their first month completely free, so you can try it risk-free and see the impact for yourself. As I was saying, the material goes through progressive grinding, getting finer with each pass. And here the process splits into 2 paths. Some facilities use cryogenic grinding. The rubber is frozen with liquid nitrogen to negative 80 degrees Celsius, making it brittle enough to shatter into an ultrafine powder at the micrometer scale. We're talking powder so fine it feels like flour between your fingers. Others use ambient grinding at room temperature, which produces slightly different particle characteristics, a bit coarser, but still incredibly fine. The choice depends on what kind of road is being built, what climate it'll endure, and how much flexibility versus durability the engineers need. The next step involves chemistry. Traditional asphalt is about 95% aggregate. Things like gravel and sand, held together by 5% bitumen, that sticky black petroleum product. To create rubberized asphalt, Engineers replace 15% to 25% of that bitumen with tire-derived rubber. You'd think you just mix it in and you're done. But temperature is everything. The asphalt gets heated to around 190 degrees Celsius, and the rubber crumb is added while everything is continuously mixed for 45 minutes to an hour. During this time, something remarkable happens. The rubber particles actually swell, absorbing lighter oils from the bitumen and increasing in volume by up to 200%. This swelling is critical. It's what creates the elastic properties in the final mixture. The rubber particles become integrated into the bitumen at a molecular level, creating something that's neither pure asphalt nor pure rubber, but a hybrid material with properties superior to both. This is the transformation. The tire is being chemically reborn. Roads paved with this material can last up to 50% longer than conventional asphalt. They reduce road noise by up to 5 decibels, which your brain perceives that as cutting road noise in half. And here's the number that makes all of this matter. 1 lane mile of rubberized asphalt uses approximately 2,000 tires. California and Arizona combined account for over 80% of rubberized asphalt use in the United States, diverting millions of tires from landfills and illegal dumps every year. The technology keeps evolving. New AI-powered sorting systems can now identify different tire types with unprecedented accuracy. Pilot plants are being built that will chemically break down old tires into oil and carbon black, making them 100% recyclable back into brand new tires. Advanced systems can now incorporate up to 50% tire rubber into asphalt, double what was possible just a few years ago. Over 500 million new tires have already been manufactured using recycled rubber powder. The process that started with a mountain of environmental hazards, 1 billion tires sitting in stockpiles across America, ends with roads that are quieter, longer lasting, and more resistant to the very conditions that destroy normal pavement. Also, don't forget about the real conservation work happening right now, the kind that's cleaning up waste before it becomes the next environmental crisis. So make sure you check out Planet Wild through the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. You'll be directly funding projects that are rebuilding ecosystems around the world, one mission at a time.